So today I wanted to share with you Seesaw's best kept secret, which is classroom blogs. And so often when I'm sharing about Seesaw, teachers are like, I didn't even know that this existed. And so I think it's really important to point out that Seesaw has a built-in blog that you can set up for your class, and you are able to connect your blog with another classroom's blog so that you can interact online and see what other classrooms are doing or having conversations with students across the hallway or around the world. And so today I'm going to show you how you can set that up for your students and also how you can connect with other schools. So to begin, I'm actually in a class that I have created just for demo purposes, and I have connected some classroom blogs from other classrooms around the United States. And to find those blogs, and the reason I can see them is because I've already connected them, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. But I think it's important to see first some examples of how teachers are using connected blogs. So right here on the blog, here on the dashboard, I'm going to click on the blog button. Okay, so right now what I'm seeing is a blog that I have created for my class, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But here on this side down here, it says connected blogs, and there are 7. So there are 7 other classroom blogs that I can view all through Seesaw, which is really nice, especially for our youngest students, because then they don't have to navigate to a spot on the web or have me share a link with them. It's all inside Seesaw with just one click away. So I'm going to click on the Connected Blogs button, just like your students would do. And here's the list of all of the classrooms that I have connected to my Seesaw blog as well. So I'm going to start just by looking at this Kastner Reading 2015-2016, which is an older blog. So there won't be any updated items probably on this because it's from a classroom from a couple years ago. But I am still going to click on it just so you can kind of see how other teachers might be using their classroom blog. This classroom blog is set up merely for students within that class to be able to comment on. So you can see there's a little video here with, or a picture I should say, with some audio recording with a comment from the teacher. So on and so forth. Looks like some text features, maybe talking about captions, things like that. All of these comments are made primarily, there aren't a ton on here, but from the teacher. Okay, so that's one way to look at your blog, and also allowing students from the class to comment as well. However, if I go back to the Connected Blogs button, the next one that I'm going to take a look at is this Reading with Mrs. Perrone, 2nd grade through 6th grade. Now, what's interesting about this is that it's a little bit more open, because this teacher has allowed comments from viewers to the blog, not necessarily students from within that class, but visitors to the blog. And I can see here, like, Lena is obviously not a classmate of this Thomas, because this comment comes from the blog. So this is a classroom that's connected with another classroom and is allowing commenting from other students from outside of the classroom. One thing that I would note too is that if you like this idea of having other students comment on each other's posts, that all of those comments have to be approved. There's no workaround, they have to be approved. So that's really nice. It's a great way for students to collaborate. If you're doing something like Global Read Aloud, where you are reading the same stories, you can comment or post things about that story, have conversations that way. You might be doing science investigations and you want to share what you've learned from your different science investigations. Makes me think of weather, sharing the weather in one place in the world with another place that might have completely different weather, and sharing different measurements of weather and things like that might be an interesting way to have some conversations online. That being said, this might be something that you're really interested in. So I'm going to flip to a different class, and we're going to show you how to set up your own classroom blog. So if I click over here on the blog button, it's going to say something like, oh, you don't have a blog. So I'm going to click on the Learn More button, and I can also turn this on in my settings as well. And then click on the Set Up Public Blog. Now you can have a completely private blog where you can password protect it if that is something that you are interested in, or you can have it where it's open for viewers. It would be pretty hard, I think, to just Google someone's class and have a Seesaw Classroom blog pop up. So as far as how many viewers you'll get if you're not sharing with another Seesaw class is probably pretty slim unless you share that link out somehow. So the first thing it will do is ask me to name my blog. Okay, I'm going to just keep it this because that's the name of this class. I can also personalize the URL. Now, one thing that I might want to mention is this URL, this blog will follow with this class or stay with this class. So next year, if you create another classroom or another class and then also set up a blog for that class, you're going to have a totally different URL. So you can't take like your name and reuse it next year. It has to be a different URL each time. So that being said, I'm just going to call this one okay. So I'm just going to type in something here and it's going to okay it if it hasn't been taken before or used before. So I'm going to click my green arrow. Now, this is something I want to think about. Do I want to enable comments from visitors to my blog? Remembering that all blog comments do require approval. I'm going to leave that on because I think that's a great use of the blog. Students can see each other's work inside the journal. This way, what you can do is have viewers from outside your classroom, which is really the main goal of the classroom blog. The other thing I can do is password protect it, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I'm going to hit that green arrow and move forward. And that's it. That's all it takes. So here's the URL for that blog. So if I do want to share it with parents or with another classroom, something like that, I definitely could. Okay. I'm actually going to copy this for right now because I'm going to connect it to a different class so you can kind of get an idea of how to do that. So I'm going to click the green arrow to finish up this process. And it's going to show me my blog. Here it is, nothing on it yet, but I could add a header here if I wanted to by clicking the gear and then going down here to add header image, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so now you might be wondering, how do students add something to the blog? So what's great about this is it's all built in from the journal. So anything that students have created on their journal, they can put straight on the blog. So let's look at this little thing I have here. And I want to add this to the blog as a student. As a student, I would click this little blog button. Mine's going to look a little bit different as a teacher. Mine says publish to blog because I, of course, have the authority just to publish it straight to the blog without approval. Students will request to have this published to the blog. So they would hit the request button. I'm just going to publish to the blog. And then you would have to approve anything that students request to put on there. So if I click back to the blog button, you can see it looks exactly as it does in my journal. It's just opening the door to someone else being able to see it, provide feedback, have conversations. All right. Now, you might be wondering, how do I connect a blog that's someone else, another classroom's blog? So that being said, if I go back into my class that I've created, and remember how I copied that URL, so there is a Google Doc that I will add here into this blog post that allows you to sign up your classroom if you'd like to connect or find other classrooms to add to your connected blog area. So to do that, I'm going to click on the blog button again as a teacher. And I want to connect a blog, so I'm going to go to connected blogs here. And this I feel like is kind of a weird spot because you have to scroll down and then connect to blog. And then I'm just going to paste in this last little chunk. So I'm going to delete that other stuff out. Bloggy Blog Blog was the name of my blog that I just created. And I'm just in a different class that I own, so you can kind of see it. And then I can preview it, which is nice because sometimes you want to make sure people are really posting to that blog and it's being used. And then I can connect to it. Okay. So now what I should be able to do, I'm going to refresh here. Okay. And now I have a connected blog. and I can go to that blog, which we just created, and view and comment on what I found. So if you're looking for a classroom to connect with, my advice is always to find someone in your building that'd be willing to kind of play with it with you and trying to figure out how it works, and if it's something that you're really interested in. From there, try to extend out to, another school that you might find on that connected blog doc. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm super excited and am hoping that this kind of takes off and becomes something that you use in your classroom. So I would be happy to help and have any conversations that you might like to have around Seesaw Connected Blogs.